grief into gifts, a gift. Please welcome Stacy.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so privileged. I feel so privileged to be here in Twin Falls today. So I grew up in Canada, but I'm American raised, born in American Fork, Utah. I grew up in a family where service was taught in amazing ways that I felt it and I never have forgotten it. And I'm so grateful for the teachings of service that my parents gave me because it literally saved my life. 7 years ago, our family was in a rollover car accident, and we lost our oldest daughter, Liliana. She was 13 years old. And this was the hardest thing that I'd ever had to go through. And my sisters, when they heard this, they asked my husband, they said, "What can we do?" And he said, "Live like Lily." Lily was an old soul. She was kind to everyone she met, larger than life, happy girl. And as I thought about what I wanted her legacy of kindness to look like, I wanted that kindness to live on, even though she was gone from this earth. I wanted it to live on. I looked at her essay. She wrote an essay in her 6th grade year, the year before she passed, and we didn't even know she was writing it until she came and told us, "I won 1st place." And we were so excited for her. But when we read her words, we were so touched. But I didn't realize that those words that I read before she passed, what they would mean to me after she passed. They were like her last letter to us. And it was actually her English class had partnered with Rotary, and it was an essay on the 4-way test questions. And so here's a little bit of what 12-year-old wisdom from Lily. "Remember, your words have power. They can be used to build someone up if they are having a hard day, or it can do the complete opposite. It can tear them down even lower than they ever were. Ponder on something you could say that is truthful, fair to everyone, that would bring goodwill and friendships, and something that could be beneficial to all concerned. Even a smile can change their entire day." Our words can spread light and hope. They can infiltrate despair and darkness into the hearts of others. We must use our words carefully as we go through our daily lives. She says, "My dad asks my siblings and I one simple question every day. What did you do that was nice for someone today? I always look for service I could do for someone every day so I can make the people around me happy. Sometimes we focus on big services we should be doing and think, how can I do all these things when I'm so busy? Or I'm too busy, I can't even think straight right now, much less with more things to juggle. Think of little acts of kindness that you can do that would make someone happy. Perhaps a smile, a compliment, or hold someone's door for them." So these words, I wanted to, like I said, continue her kindness legacy. So we started the Live Like Lily Foundation. And we wanted to empower youth through service. So she loved to dance. And so I thought, how cool would it be to offer a scholarship to girls who they dream their entire lives to dance but can't because of financial. So we teamed up with her dance studio and we planned a night, and we had the dancers, they danced for these girls at Girls Inc., which is through Youth and Family Services, and we picked some girls to give some scholarships to. The dance teacher, her point teacher gave one, we gave one, and her dance studio gave one. So we went into the program knowing we'd give 3 scholarships. And it was only 3 months after Lily had passed when this happened. And I was in a really low point, dark place. And it was hard to watch her friends dance because she wasn't there. But when I saw those girls come up and get their scholarship, something they dreamed and thought they'd never get, with tears in their eyes and just happiness, I was at the highest of highs. And it was such a strange thing to be so low but so high at the same time. And that's when I remembered and felt again the power of service, as my parents had taught. For when we were young, one Christmas my dad came to me and he said, "There's a family from Poland. They're coming with nothing but the clothes on their backs, and I want you to pick your favorite toy to give to them this Christmas." And I love Barbies, and I thought, I have a lot of Barbies, I can just give him one of my Barbies. But as I saw my mom go through her closet and pick some of her favorite outfits, I just thought, you know what, I can do this. I picked my favorite Barbie and I wrapped it. And I never will forget when we walked into their literally empty apartment, set up a tree, and I placed that gift under the tree. It didn't matter anymore. I thought, you know what, I have so much. They have nothing. And I can do this. And that moment, I felt something so, like I said, the highest of highs, that joy. As we continued to think about what we wanted to do with Live Like Lily, another idea that came was the Day of Kindness. And so I went into each of the middle schools, and I said, let's do a Day of Kindness where the kids write down kind acts that they've done on sticky notes. And then if they've been given an act of kindness, they can write that down too. And so we got a corporate sponsor for each of the 5 schools, and they paid $1 for each act of kindness. And then in turn, the kids got to take that money, we call it the kindness dollars, and then pick a nonprofit in their community and give their money to them. And it's been amazing to go in after and bring the corporate sponsor, and we've done Club for Boys, Children's Miracle Network, just bring those people in and tell the students, this is where your kindness is going. It's rippling, it keeps on rippling, and it will keep on rippling. I had one of the student body presidents come up to me, he said, you know what, thank you so much for coming to our school. It really changed our school, changed the people. I felt it. And I knew then that if he felt it, he would never forget it. Just like I felt years and years later, after I'd done the service for that girl from Poland. I knew he'd never forget it and would stay with him forever. These things with Live Like Lily have helped us heal through something so tragic in our lives. And then 3 years later, in 2020, my sister lost her daughter. And they had seen our journey and they wanted to do the same thing. So we joined and we started Srvivr, another nonprofit. It's spelt a little different than your normal survivors. SRVIVRS. So it's like the I in the middle is myself, and when you surround yourself in service, you find healing. So we invited others that had lost to share their story of loss and how service has helped them. And I was amazed that 3 years later, that as I shared my story online, how much more healing I found. As I opened up and was vulnerable, I was a very private griever, I guess you could say, but it helped me. It was hard, but it helped me. And then to see these people be able to share 10 years after they'd lost their loved one, and they'd say, you know what, that feels really good. I feel lighter, even 10 years later, just opening up and sharing their story. And so when my husband came to me, probably 2 years ago-ish, and said, I think we need to go on the road. We need to share and spread awareness for survivors. I said, what? He said, let's go. I think we should live in an RV for a year, and then we should go share our story. And at first I didn't want to do that. I loved my house, I loved my life, I didn't want to leave it. But God put it on our hearts, and we are on the road right now. I'm going to share a little.
June 3rd, I'm running capital to capital across the country for about a year. It's about 17,000 miles. We're trying to raise awareness for survivors as an organization to help people learn to transform their grief into a gift through serving in honor of others. In every state that we go to, we're going to be having a gathering at the state capitol building. It's called the Black Pearl Project. When a pearl is going to be formed, an irritant has to be introduced into that shellfish's life, that it has to protect itself, so it goes to work, starts layering around this irritant, but eventually that becomes something beautiful. It's a pearl, it's a gift. In a similar way, death comes into our life, but you want to just go into fetal position and do nothing, and you want the whole world to stop. But if you layer it with layers of service, even if it's just as simple as going out for a walk that day in their memory, something starts to change. Little by little, layer by layer, your own pearl starts to be created, and you have a beautiful gift. Everybody's step is different. No one walks the same. Even as much as we want to walk in others' footsteps, we can't. And it's an individual journey that we take together, but we all do it in our own individual way. I think everybody's story is worth remembering. I love people, and when you learn about people, there's a connection that happens, and that's why I move in memory on a daily basis, because I want to make that connection with that person that's passed and learn about them. One of the amazing things about the Black Pearl Project is it's an invitation to the whole nation to participate, whether it's virtual or in person. They can go on to srvivr.org and enter in the name of their loved one and the death date that that person passed away, and that will get sent to me, and I will move in memory that day. Join us on the Black Pearl Project by going to srvivr.org.
Okay. So I'll just share a little quick bit what we're doing. Josh, my husband, he's run over 5,000 miles. He runs in memory of someone every day. He wears a race bib with someone's name on it, and then we find a way to serve in their memory, and we love to learn about them. So he's running into Twin Falls today. He'll be here tonight, and we just hope to help others find healing through service. And I hope that as you go throughout your life, that you can think about what your legacy of kindness is. Because we can be anything in this world, right? We can be a doctor, we can be a teacher, and they're all awesome things. But really, how you make people feel is what they'll remember forever and what you'll be remembered for. So, as our motto is, see good, do good, share good.